we would get started shortly. If you have any questions for us while I'm presenting, please feel free to use the chat box, or you can also use the Q&A feature that is enabled on Zoom. Before we get started, I'm always curious to know where everybody's dialing in from. So if you can please put in the chat where you're dialing in from. If you are a founder or you work for a startup, I would also be curious to know which startup you are representing, where you're located, and what you do. So I'll just give it a few more minutes for you to type that in the chat, and then we would get started with the presentation. But it's good to see you all. Elizabeth, Fatima, Joanne, Justice, Madinatu, and Richard. Thank you for joining the call. Okay, so MEST Africa was established in 2008 and is the non-profit arm of Meltwater. So our foundation primarily drives jobs and creation and economic growth in Africa through software entrepreneurship. It's headquartered in Accra, Ghana, and we deliver full-time, in-person, intensive tech entrepreneurship training to emerge talent from across the continent. Since our establishment in 2008, we currently have admitted people from more than 22 African countries into our core training program. As part of our efforts to increase our impact in our work, we launched MEST X, which is a suite of collaborative programs designed and delivered with like-minded partners to expand digital skills training and startup acceleration across the continent. If you want to learn more about who we are and what we do, you're encouraged to visit our website, meltwater.org, to learn more. We have since then trained 2,000 plus entrepreneurs and invested in 90 plus startups across the continent. So what is the MEST Africa Challenge? I'm sure you've seen our campaign across your social media. So it's a Pan-African pitch competition open for early stage startups that are seeking to ramp up their traction and get into the next stage of their growth. This year we are launching the 7th edition of the MEST Africa Challenge, and the winner stands a chance to win $50,000 in equity investments, perks from our partners, and support from our global community. We are strategically aligning this year's competition with ABSA Group's innovative priorities, and we have a sharp focus on uncovering high-impact solutions in fintech, insurtech, and value chain sectors such as agri-financing. This year as well, we are also expanding our scouting efforts across ABSA's core markets with particular emphasis on Botswana, Uganda, Mauritius, Seychelles, Kenya, Mozambique, Zambia, and Ghana. We would also place a priority on ventures who have a strong synergy potential to integrate with ABSA's digital offerings, particularly in digital payments, financial inclusion, insurance innovation, and value chain financing. Our theme this year is You Build, We Scale. So we're going to take your innovation, your everything that you bring, and we're just going to help you get to the next stage or the next level of your business growth. So we invite all of you who are operating in fintech, insurtech, and value chain sectors that are aligned with our goals this year, our theme this year, operating in the markets that I mentioned earlier, to apply. My colleague will drop the application link in the chat in case you'd like to apply for the challenge. So we've been running the MEST Africa Challenge since 2018, and the companies that you see on the screen are some of our previous winners. I don't know if any of them sound familiar to you, if you've heard of any of the companies, but we have Accountia, Wire, Snood, Oze, Kilimo Fresh, Kwali, Kwa Academy, and most recently, Saytech. They are operating in different sectors and in different markets. As part of the previous winners, we have fintechs, we have edtechs, agritechs, we have agritechs, and they're operating in Ghana, Senegal, South Africa, Kenya, and different markets as well. So as I mentioned earlier, we're going to run this year's challenge in 8 countries: Botswana, Uganda, Mauritius, Seychelles, Kenya, Mozambique, Zambia, and Ghana. You can be operating in more than one of the countries that I've mentioned, and you'll still be eligible to apply. If you are operating in a combination of our core markets and some of the markets that are not our core markets, you are still encouraged to apply if you meet our eligibility criteria. So our eligibility criteria as follows. First and foremost, you need to be operating in one of the 8 markets that I mentioned. You must be an early stage technology startups. We are looking for fintechs, insurtechs, or startups who are operating in similar value chains. You must offer at least one of the following solutions: digital payments, financial inclusion, insurance innovation, and/or value chain financing. You must have a minimum recurring revenue of at least $5,000. But this is not a strict requirement. So if you are still in the early stages, you're still encouraged to apply for the challenge as well. Ideally, we are looking for startups who have not raised more than $1 million. So if you haven't raised at all, perfect. If you've raised as well, perfect. But just make sure that you haven't raised more than $1 million. Again, if you do have any questions, please feel free to use the chat or the Q&A feature, and we would address it at the end. Early stage for us means that you should have been in existence for under 3 years. If you incorporated your company very early on along the line, you have pivoted to this solution, but you haven't been operating in it for more than 3 years, you're also encouraged to apply. So for example, you registered your company back in 2015, 2010, or more than 3 years, and you started off with a particular solution. Along the line, you pivoted, and you've pivoted 3 times. Now you are operating in one of the sectors that we are calling for in MAC, but you have not been operating in that particular sector for more than 3 years. You are still eligible to apply, and would like to encourage you to apply for it as well. We want to see that you have some traction. A minimum of 6 months of recurring revenue is encouraged. But again, if you do have something shy of that, you can still apply for the MEST Africa Challenge. Ideally, would like to have at least 2 founding team members. So we would strongly discourage solo founders. But if you are a solo founder and you want to shoot your shots, you're more than welcome to apply for it as well. But ideally, would like to see at least 2 founding team members. If you are registered in Delaware, that is great because it is a neutral ground for investment. However, if you are registered in any of the local markets, you are still more than welcome to apply. We have 5 key stages for the competition. First is completing an online application, including your pitch deck and a video pitch. Again, the video pitch is not meant to be a full-scale production. We just want to hear you talk about your business. So you can just record yourself with a cell phone, with your laptop camera. Any device is fine. Any format is fine. It shouldn't be more than 3 minutes. And we just want to hear about what your problem is, what your solution is, your major challenge, how you're going to use the equity investments, and anything else that you want to share with us. This is your chance to sell your company and to tell us a bit more about it to enhance the answers that you have provided in the application form. The application form is open from now until the 26th of September. We will then go through an internal screening process to select the top 20 semi-finalists, and we will be announcing that on the 10th of October. We will then host the virtual semi-finals in the last week of October, and we will select the top 10 finalists shortly after that. The in-person finale and the demo day is going to be held in Cape Town, South Africa on Wednesday, the 26th of November, 2025. The important dates, I'll highlight them again in case you missed it. So the application deadline is the 26th of September, 2025. The virtual semifinals are going to be in the week of the 27th of October, 2025. And the finale would be on Wednesday, 26th November, 2025 in Cape Town, South Africa. Don't worry about how you're going to get to Cape Town. MEST is going to sponsor your flight tickets, your feeding, your accommodation, ground transportation, and everything that you need. So all you literally need to do is pack your bags if you're one of the top 10 finalists and join us in Cape Town. Everything else will be covered by us. Some of you have put in questions in the chat. Thank you for that. If you still have questions you want to ask, please use the chat box or the Q&A feature. Before I address the questions that have come in, I'm going to run through some of the frequently asked questions that we have. What are the video pitch guidelines for the application? So the video pitch duration should be a maximum of 3 minutes and can be taken with a mobile phone. Like I mentioned, we are not going to test your creativity skills, your production skills. We just want an opportunity to see you, to hear from you, and to hear you sell your business. Just make sure that we can see your full face and you have adequate lighting as well. Also, make sure that your mic is good and we can hear everything that you are saying clearly. You must appear on camera for the pitch. So we don't want to see animated videos. We don't want to see videos with text. We don't want voiceovers. It's not meant to be real style. Just come, show your face, talk about your business. We are not going to be scoring your production and how beautiful your video is. We are also not going to be scoring you on your video quality, whether you use an iPhone, an Android, a Microsoft laptop, an Apple laptop, whatever device you have is enough. So far as it does have adequate audio-visual features on it, you can record yourself, you can upload it, you can save it, we can hear you clearly, see you clearly. That's more than enough. So think the lowest of requirements for the video pitch and try not to spend too much time on it. It's really not that deep. The pitch must be in English. If you are French speaking, we do have one of our portfolio companies, Pikelo, who can support you with preparing to pitch in English for as part of your application process and as part of the semifinals and the final demo day. Okay, I've just run over the video pitch guidelines, so I'll skip this part. When will the shortlisted applicants be announced? So the semifinals are going to be announced on the 10th of October, and the overall challenge winner would be announced at the end of the final demo day in November. All pitches and the Q&A will be made in English. For Francophone speakers who would be pitching in English, we can have people in the semifinals and the finals who can translate some questions for you if you do not fully understand it. So don't worry if you have limited proficiency in English. We have tools and resources to support you to make sure that you're able to put your best foot forward. The pitch competition is hybrid. The semifinals are going to be virtual at the end of October, and the final demo day is going to be in person in Cape Town, South Africa. Who incurs the cost of travel for the final demo day in South Africa? As I mentioned earlier, the finalists will be fully sponsored with travel to and from Cape Town, including your housing and transport for the final pitch day in November 2025. Please plan to arrive in Cape Town a few days before. The final pitch competition is going to be Wednesday, 26th November 2025, as I mentioned, but please plan to be in Cape Town from about the Sunday before, and then you'd leave immediately after the competition on Thursday, the 27th of November. Would MEST organize pitch readiness sessions for applicants? Yes, we will organize pitch readiness sessions for the semi-finalists, and we'll also organize something for the finalists in Cape Town. So for the semi-finalists, we'll just run through an info session similar to this, talk about the key areas that you need to show in your pitch deck. But for the finalists, we'll take it a step further, allow you to pitch in front of us and share feedback on your pitch. Where does your startup need to be located to participate in the challenge? You are eligible to apply if your company operates in one or more of the target countries. Again, these are Botswana, Uganda, Mauritius, Seychelles, Kenya, Mozambique, Zambia, and Ghana. If you are a founder who is not based in any of these markets, but your startup is operating in any of these markets, you are more than welcome to apply. So for example, you are based in the US or you're based in South Africa, but you are a founder of a fintech startup operating in Seychelles, you are eligible to apply. We're not thinking about where the founder is based, but where the startup is operating. What's the grand prize? So the winner of the MEST Africa Challenge 2025 stands to win $50,000 in equity investments, access to MEST portfolio resources, and you also get perks from our partners this year. That said, if you would like to come on board as a PEG partner for the MEST Africa Challenge 2025, please email us at mac@meltwater.org. That is mac@meltwater.org. My colleague will put the email in the chat as well, and we'll be happy to discuss how we can partner. If you also know any fintech founders that you'd like to share the opportunity with, please feel free to share the application link with them. You can also share our website, our dedicated MEST Africa Challenge website link with them so they can learn more and apply. Would appreciate all the support that we can get in terms of spreading the word far and wide to qualifying startups and also to organizations who can provide perks. And by perks, we mean discounted products and services to our startups to help them build and scale their businesses. So this can be access to co-working spaces, this can be access to tools, this can be access to co-working spaces, to tools, anything, mentorship, or anything that will help them grow their businesses. Start your application today. If you'd like to learn more, please visit our website or email us at mac@meltwater.org. Thank you very much. Again, if you do have any questions, please feel free to use the chat. I would start answering the questions that I have seen in the chat. Okay, is there a chance for a fashion designer who wants to get into fashion tech? Sadly, for the MEST Africa Challenge, we are not opening up to fashion tech this year. We are only focusing on fintech, insurtech, and adjacent value chains. But you can explore any of the other accelerator programs that we have running at MEST. And to learn more, you can visit our general MEST website, which is meltwater.org, to learn about the active programs that we have to support your business. What about agritech? As I mentioned, we are only opening to fintech startups this year. Last year's challenge, in partnership with the Norwegian Embassy, was focused on agritech. This year, in partnership with APSA, we are only looking at fintechs. If I've missed any question in the chat box, please retype it. Okay, our startups in Nigeria qualified. Sadly, if your startup is only operating in Nigeria, you are not part of the core markets for this year's MAC. So you would not be eligible to apply. However, if you are operating in Nigeria or any of the other core markets, you can apply for it. Please give me a minute. I'd like to change my location, but if you have any questions, please use this time to type them in the chat. And when I'm back online, I would respond to them. Thank you very much for staying with us. How many people in a team are allowed to travel? So MEST would only be sponsoring the travel for one founder from each startup. However, if you'd like more of your team members to join us for the finale in Cape Town, you are more than happy to bring them along, but you'd be in charge for paying for their accommodation, their tickets, and everything else included. So I'm going to go over the key information. If you do have any questions, please feel free to put it in the chat. So this year's MAC is focused on fintech, insurtech, and adjacent value chain sectors. The applications are open from now until the 26th of September 2025. The semifinals will be virtual. It will be held in the last week of October, and the finale is in person in Cape Town, South Africa on the 27th of November. We are opening up to PEG partners, so any organization or startup who wants to provide discounted products or services to our semi-finalists who will be 20, or our finalists who will be 10, or a combination of both of them. So if your startup or you know anyone who would like to come on board as a PEG partner, please feel free to email us and we'll be happy to take the conversation forward. If you also have a network of founders or startups that you can help us spread the word far and wide to, please help us reach them. We are looking for fintech founders and startups in 8 core markets. And the 8 core markets are Ghana, Kenya, Mozambique, Mauritius, Seychelles, I said Kenya already, Uganda, and Zambia. No, I stopped sharing my screen because I finished running through the deck. Unless there is a slide that you'd want to see, I'll be happy to reshare my screen. Okay. I'll just give it a few more minutes in case you are thinking through some more questions for us. If not, we're going to host this same info session tomorrow, and it's going to be in French. So if you know any Francophone founders who are operating in any of the core markets, please share the link with them to join tomorrow's info session. And we'll be happy to tell them all about the MEST Africa Challenge 2025 and how they can apply. Okay, so I'll give it 3 more minutes before we end the call. We will end the call at 12:30 GMT. Thank you to everyone who joined. We look forward to your applications if you are operating in any of our core markets, and we also look forward to your referrals. Is there an opportunity for a digital marketing agency startup, a beneficiary of MEST Africa? Madinatu, can you please explain your question a bit further? What do you mean by opportunity? How do you want to work with us? Okay, you can feel free to email us. Again, I'll put our email in the chat so we can explore what the opportunity is. And then I'll put in the application link in the chat as well for you to share with qualifying startups. Okay, so you did a digital marketing program with MEST and you opened your own digital marketing agency afterwards. Can you please email us and we can take that conversation further? Thank you very much. Okay, thank you all for joining the MEST Africa Challenge 2025 Anglophone Info Session. Applications are open from now until the 26th of September. So if you are eligible to apply, please apply via the link that I shared in the chat. If you are not, but you know any eligible startups, please feel free to share the link with them for them to apply by the 26th of September. It's a strict deadline and will not be extending. So please make sure that they start the application very early. As we mentioned, the video pitch is not anything very serious. We're not going to be scoring the video quality. Ideally, we want to see them speaking, so we don't want animated videos, videos with text. It should be ideally a founder or anyone as part of the business who has a good understanding about what they do, the problem they are solving, the solution they have, the traction they've made to date, and just use that as an opportunity to tell us more about the startup. It's a chance to add more information that you were not able to in the application form to strengthen your application. So I see a final question. Does a digital logistics platform qualify to apply? Sadly, we are only opening up to fintechs this year in partnership with APSA. So you would not be eligible to apply for the MEST Africa Challenge 2025. However, you can check our website, meltwater.org. I'm putting that in the chat. We do run other accelerator programs and incubator programs, and there may be something that your startup would benefit from. So just keep checking it and keep checking our socials. We are MEST Africa across all platforms. Anytime we have a new program running, we do make announcements on our social media, so you can stay tuned to that and apply if anything fits the bill. Thank you once again for joining, and we look forward to your applications. Enjoy the rest of your day. Bye-bye for now.